Alright, what is going on, everybody? Today we are going to be doing what every YouTuber does when they run out of content. Nah, it's like I'm just playing, but today we're going to be making tier lists, multiple tier lists to be in fact. I think I have like 5 here. We got like Enchant, Race, Oath, Attunement, and like Bell, I think. You can see on the timeline on the bottom if you want to skip ahead to any of them. But yeah, getting right into it, the Enchants. Start off, we got Nemesis. Nemesis I'm going to put at an A tier. Not gonna lie, bro, I'm sick of people calling Nemesis meta. Like, it's good and all, but it's definitely not like up there A+ or S. There's 0 people in top 50 that use it, probably 2 in top 250 total that use it. It's okay, but it does take away your crit, and it's not a curse, so I don't see why it deserves a downside. There is like some pretty cool tech I've seen with Arc Order, where you go into Arc Suit, and then you disable your enchant, so you can use your normal crit, and then you toggle it back on, and you can use Nemesis. But yeah, A tier for sure. Next up, we got Blazing. Blazing's also A, or it could be A+. With Azure Flame, it's really good, and Deep Fire, because Azure Flame is just broken as a whole. But yeah, you burn them with M1s, get them in a, if you get them in a combo, they take a lot of burn damage and they can't roll out of it, so not much to be said there. Solar, I'm definitely put at A+. Pretty self-explanatory. You vent, take their tempo. Really good if you can consistently proc it, paired with talents like Foolish Outburst. Your opponent will almost never have tempo. Moving on to Detonation. I want to put Detonation at S, but it's pretty trash on Dagger and Fist, so I'm like move it down to A+, but don't get me wrong, on Medium and Heavy and Rapier, Detonation is definitely an S tier, but for now, I'm put it top of A+, just because it's free true damage every 3-4 hits, and then on Rapier, you get a crit that's a confirmed Detonation as well. And if you get Detonation on like a Dark Steel, 1M1 with an explosion will do like a bar. It does really good damage. Now, Elastic, I'm probably going to put at like a C, maybe like a B or a B-, but probably a C for now. Because it used to be really good, don't get me wrong, but now it's kind of like mid. I'll move it up to B because I've seen some cool builds with it, but you can't really do much besides, I guess, combo extend off of Ragdoll moves. It's not even that good at stopping people from holding S, really only used for like combo builds, I guess you could say. I've no good players that I know use Elastic, so yeah. Umbral Knight, I also want to put at like C or B, because it does good damage, but the downside of it is like the extra slash is parryable, so if they miss the parry on your M1 and parry the slash accidentally, they could like get out of the combo for free. But besides that, it does good damage, but I'm probably gonna put it at C because you also can't use it in PvE for some reason. It's not a curse, so I don't see why you have a downside. Yeah, pretty mid, but it can be good on good builds, like damage multiplier, Hive Lord builds, like those are pretty good with it too. Deferred, I'll put at an A, because Deferred is actually really good. It stops their, it gives them constant tick damage, and I think it messes with their parry frames too, just a little bit. It gives you a raw damage buff too. There is a rumor that it ignores armor resistance and gives you like complete pen. I don't think that's true. Grim, I'm gonna put at C, maybe D, but on the right build it could be C, so I'll put it at C. It's not really that good because you need multiple hits to even get your enchant to proc, and then it's like you hit them like 4 or 5 times, something like that, and then they get a status effect on them, which makes them take more damage, and then that status effect doesn't even last that long, and then you have to repeat all of it again. So yeah, it's almost never active, which it's like C- in my opinion. There is one tech with posering I see with it. I'm not sure if it still works, but yeah, C- for sure. Now we got Chilling. Chilling, I'm gonna put it at a B, like top of B. It's definitely better than Elastic. Not better than these though, up here in A tier. I've seen some tech, y'all know, like the Chilling Sightless Beam True combo, and then obviously with Crystal it procs the crystals on M1. There's not too much you can do with it, although it is really good for PvE. It's probably like one of the best 3 enchants for PvE, but in PvP it's really not that good. Unless again you're in like Sightless Beam or something like that, you can true combo into it. Storm, I'm definitely gonna put at like D or Lapis, as it is just a downgraded version of Stormbreaker. It doesn't really do that much. The purple stun you get on your lightning mantras is kind of pointless because lightning mantras just apply that stun normally anyway, so it's really just cosmetic. And they nerfed Storm in the Rain too. It used to do a lot of damage, now it's only like 10% extra. So yeah, D tier for sure. It's really just like cosmetic enchant. Obfuscation, definitely gonna be our first S tier of the video. It makes your weapon invisible, gives you true chip damage. Because of Obfuscation, they actually added a cap to chip damage. Now it's capped at 50%. It used to be like no cap at all, you can go to 100%. But yeah, now it's capped at 50%, so point trying to make like an Obfuscation chip damage build. And like, don't even get me started on the bugs that you can use with like Rising Thunder to make it completely invisible. And then like you can put it on like a Sacred Hammer, and it's just so stupid, bro. Obfuscation is always gonna be good. Bloodthirsty, I'll probably put top of C. It can do good damage, but it has a downside, although I would say it's better than Umbral Knight because you can use it in PvE, and it drains their blood, so kind of like hard counters NLK too. And you just get a passive damage buff. That's not that bad, although you do take 1% for every hit that you miss, which is why I would not use it. Next up, we got Heroism, another D tier. It could be C, but it's good on like, I guess, damage multiplier builds. I've never seen a comp player use it at all. I've never really seen it effective besides when people made those like Hive Lord Hubris builds with the multipliers. Then I would get like 2-shotted by it, but they nerfed that. They're really not that good because like the damage buff is kind of insignificant too. It's like 25% when you're at either max or like close to 0, and then it's like 10%, and 10% is really not that big of a deal. You can just get a charm or something. So yeah, D. I'd say Storm is better actually, just because you can do more with it. Storm in the water. Going back to Storm in the water, it could be C because if you didn't know, in the water it procs Jolting Current. But yeah, it's like the only tech I know with it. Gluttony is a very situational enchant. On land, I'd say it's D tier, and water, I'd say it's like A plus tier. Not S though. Yeah, I'll just put it in the middle between the two. A plus in water, D on land, so I'll just put it at like B plus. Don't take the rating too seriously because it is very situational. Obviously, you know why it's good in the water and why it's bad on land. But now it replaces your crit with a counter, so you don't get to use your crit at all. And then the counter is pretty bad too, very low frames, doesn't even do the damage back to them. It gives you like a damage buff for 3 seconds maybe. And it also gives you a slow debuff when you use the counter. And then it gives you like the ether steal, but that's really not that good because when you hit them they get tempo and they just regen their ether back anyway. So yeah, very pointless enchant. I would just get rid of it. Next up we got Seer. I haven't seen Seer used in a very long time, but one of my friends had a really good build with it on a Divine Greatsword. It did a lot of damage. But you can make a good build with Seer, I'm pretty sure. I would definitely use it over any of these 3 enchants, but probably not over any of these, so I'd put it like bottom of B because it gives you pen stacks. I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Yeah, good for like countering reinforced armor and stuff like that. It's doing good damage. Next up we got Stone. Stone in my opinion is a bit underrated. It could be B. I'll put it above Chilling though, because Chilling is very situational. Bottom of A. You can get on the right weapon you can get like 1-tap guard breaks, and obviously there's a bonus damage buff on guard break. If you didn't know, Stone used to also add bonus posture damage to your mantras too, so like your strong left would auto guard break, but they got rid of that. But yeah, it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good if you don't have like a guard break mantra on your build to rely on. I'm pretty sure Cladrim uses Stone now. I could use it over Nemesis, definitely not over Blazing though if I was on a fire build. Moving into Yunshul. Yunshul they nerfed really hard, honestly. I would put it at either bottom B or top C. Still better than Bloodthirsty. Compared to Seer, I'm not sure, because Seer you can always get the enchant proc guaranteed. Yunshul is like very low chance to proc now, and more chance to damage yourself, and it does less damage when you get the good proc too. So yeah, I'll probably put it top of C. They nerfed it really hard, it's not that good anymore. Vamp, I'll definitely put A+, not S because it gets countered by all the dead gods, but if your opponent does not have all the dead gods, easy S tier. Yeah, but for now, A, I'll put it in between Solar and Detonation because it's not better than Detonation. Detonation, again, like I said, is an S, but it's down an A+, because of it being trash on Fist and Dagger and Dual Guns. Wilds, definitely our second addition to the Lapless tier. It's very useless, it makes it annoying. You're gonna have to change your enchant every time you want to spy your guildmates, and then the passive's not even that good either that you get in ganks. You just like hit someone for... It's like 10% or 20% AoE damage, which is really only 2% to them on a health bar. So yeah, it's really not that good at all. Metal, definitely our other S tier. Metal is very annoying to fight. The only way you can counter it is with Armor Conserver and Steadfast, or also using Metal, which is you have to dedicate a whole boon just to counter Metal. Or you can go Arc Order too, but then obviously your Arc Suit's not always on all the time. Metal is very annoying to fight. They buffed it so you lose your full armor once you're around like 30%, 40% maybe sometimes if they have it on heavy. You start doing true damage and you'll end up dying in like 3 hits compared to like 10 maybe. So yeah, very good. Definitely like the counter to almost every build, unless they're Glass Cannon builds, but no one really runs Glass Cannon builds. Is it better than Obfuscation? It could be. These two are interchangeable. Moving into Providence Thorns, I'd put it like, I'll probably put it here, because it's not better than Umbral Knight for combat, even though Umbral Knight can get them out of combos. So they really nerfed Providence Thorns for PvP, although it is still good for PvE, specifically Primadon. It's not that good for depths, you can run like Chilling or something. But yeah, overall very mid for both PvE and PvP, that's why it's at the middle of the bunch here. Grim might be better in it, but if you're like a really good parry-based player, then this enchant could suit you. Next up we got Tears of Edenkite. I'll probably put this like middle of A. Below Deferred. It could be interchangeable with Stone. Like these 3 at the bottom of A are all interchangeable. You summon Bubbles on Flourish. If you get them against a wall, it does a lot of damage. And on Dual Guns, it's broken because of the bug that lets you like store up Flourishes with Dual Guns and flourish them in 1 hit. So yeah, very like solid enchant overall. I know y'all seen that one clip of the guy getting like one shot by a Tears build in depths, but it's not really used that much in competitive combat besides Dual Gun users. Overall very good though. You could use this on the build and it'll be viable. So we got Stormbreaker. I'll put it top of B. I'd say it could be better than Chilling depending on your weapon. If you have like a mid crit, like a Serpent's Edge, then it would be better than Chilling, but sometimes you want your crit, so Chilling could be better. It is very spammable. People used to make like Chime builds that would run around the whole match and only use Stormbreaker, and then you could like move stack with it too. I don't know if I think they added that back, I'm not too sure. But yeah, overall very spammable. It has the same passives as Storm, it's just an upgraded version of Storm, that's why Storm's all the way down here. Storm is purely cosmetic, it's so bad. Next up, NLK, the other S tier, although it is not usable in Chime. But for Overworld, obviously S tier. Probably the best Overworld enchant, unless you have like 0 willpower, because it just makes you very, very unkillable. In a fight, if you have NLK in a fight, then pretty much just take it as you have 7 bars instead of 5, it heals you that much. And then you can pair it with Flame Wisp, you can pair it with Fishman too. Even though it has diminishing returns, it is still more healing than just normal NLK. There is one bug with it. I don't know if y'all remember like half a year ago, people would stack it with Condition Runner, so they removed it being able to stack with Condition Runner. But now if you have both, you just don't get any healing at all. So yeah, hopefully they patch that. But for now, I don't care, it's still S tier. Yeah, that's gonna be it for Enchants. So moving into Attunements. Starting off, we got Attunementless. I'm not going to put this in S tier. You'll see why in a minute. But yeah, Attunementless alone is definitely A+. It's not the best. Best is going to go to Flame Charm. I'll explain that in a minute too. So the meta is what people do now with Attunementless. They don't just make normal Attunementless. They make like Attunementless builds with maybe 20-30 points invested into any element. It used to be Thunder Kick for a guard break, but now they gutted that. So people go like 30 flame for Flame Wisp, and then like Arc Warder, and then they also get like maybe Ice Smash at 30 ice. So yeah, the meta with Attunementless, instead of running it alone, is to just like invest it into low cost mantras. So if you have like a low cost mantra, Attunementless build is definitely S tier, but Attunementless alone without any like elemental mantra is A+. And then Flame Charm is S, very spammable. I have a Flame Charm build with only 480 HP. I can dead like 1v10 with it. You can't die. You can just Flame Leap around, Flame Assault, Giant Flame Assault, crazy mods. And then obviously Warding Radiance, great for running and chasing. And then like Ash Slime is pretty good too. Fire Forward. And then you have like a guard break with Burning Servants. Yeah, overall very solid. Burn damage is broken on Azure Flames. It's probably the best thing. Azure Flame is probably the best thing in the game right now, above normal flame. And then like don't even get me started on Song Chant with Azure Flames, dude. It's so broken. It does so much. You can actually get melted in a matter. I think like I fought an Azure Flame Song Chant builds and I got to half health in a matter of like 5, maybe 6 hits. Yeah, it's really good. Moving into Frost Draw. Frost Draw I'll probably put at A. Just because Saint J, if you didn't know, Saint J used to chill you for a very long time, like a minute. They got rid of that on Ice Beam, but on Ice Fissure, the chill is still very long. So if you got Ice Fissure, just basically replace that for your Ice Beam, and you can still chill them for a minute. It makes you very hard to kill in ganks if you put an Ice Fissure and chill like 8 people, because you will always be getting heal redirects. And then like Ice Skate, you can, in like all the big Lancelot chapter ganks, people are spawning boats. Someone always comes to Ice Skate and just destroys the boat. And obviously you can pair Ice Fissure up with like Grav Dome, and you have like Ice Daggers for a free M1. And then they also just got a guard break with Ice Smash. So yeah, pretty good. And you also get Orbital Ice too. Gale Breath, I'm probably going to put at B. I would say it is the worst attunement right now, except for Crystal Path, but Crystal Path is not really an attunement. It's very mid. They just gave it, although they did just buff it, so it could be bottom A, but I'm going to keep it at B because I haven't used the buff version yet. It gives them, the way the tempo system works right now, basically just works against Gale as a whole, because Gale has, all of its moves are multi-hit, and tempo, the way you gain tempo, it's how many times you get hit, not how much damage you take. So if you use a Rising Wind, it hits them like 6-7 times, you'll max out their tempo bar compared to like an 80 damage heavy M1 that'll only give them a bit of tempo because there's only one hit. So yeah, we're trying to get it so we're trying to get it to where tempo scales, to where tempo gains based off of damage taken instead of hits. And that would also passively buff Gale a lot, but for now it's pretty trash. They do have Champion's Roll Through and Gale Trap and Gale Lunge, which are like the only 3 good mantras in my opinion. Shadowcast I'm gonna put at A above Frost Draw. It does they gave it like a lot of buffs recently. Shadebringer got buffed, and then they got like Shadow Vortex, and then Rising Shadow's a good mantra too. Shadow Eruption's a good mantra. A lot of good mantras. A lot of high damaging mantras too. You'd be like, what? Shadow high damage? Yeah, I'll put a clip up on the screen. You can see really how much damage it does. It does a lot of damage. It is probably the second most damaging attunement behind Flame Charm. The Shadow is very solid, and then for Thunder, I'll put it A+ too behind Attunementless. For 1, the #1 player right now uses Thunder. 2, does good damage. 3, Rising Thunder bugs, still not patched. Makes your obfuscation completely visible. Goes through block, all of that. Hyper Armor. Normal Stormblades is bugged too, so it's pretty good. Hard to fight against. And then I'll put some images up on the screen right now of the 2 paths, Lava Serpent and Crystal. Now with Lava Serpent, here, let me add a tier real quick. Lava Serpent I would put in the A- tier. It's better than Gale simply because 1, it has flame mantras, and then 2, the passives I gave to it are pretty good. There's like the one where you get an evasive, the only attunement in the game with an evasive. I think if you get guard broken, you get like the eruption under you instantly and this gets sent back. So yeah, free evasive, and there's also tech where you can like hide your M1 animations with it. So for that it's A- right below, or right above Gale, sorry. And then Crystal Path would be B right below Gale, because Crystal is really bad. They gutted it, Crystal Impale sucks now, Ice Dagger's wind up increase. All the good Crystal mantras are pretty bad, and then like Grand Severus gets bad too. They nerfed it so much after the release of Verse 2, it's just not worth using anymore. Ice is simply better. And that's going to be it for Attunements. So moving into, what we got? Races. Or not races, sorry, oaths. I saw the Vesperian, I was like races. Okay, let's start off with Arc Warder. Arc Warder is definitely the best oath in the game at the moment, just because of how tanky you can be. It has like the same mobility as Dark Injury, but the double jumps, except for it has like a short cooldown. And then obviously you have access to Flame Leap, so good, really good mobility. And then obviously really good tankiness, you get 10 HP and like 15% physical. The mantras are decent. Arc Beam is pretty mid, although Arc Wave is good for A, proccing Warding Radiance, and B, crowd healing. So yeah, if you're in a gank, just run around and spam like Flame Mantras and Arc Wave with Bloodless, you can't die. And all the passives for it are pretty good too. Next, I will put Jet Striker. Jet Striker is also the other S tier. It is one of the only oaths that is good for combat and mobility. Very hard to catch a Jet Striker. I've only done it with Flame, with Warding Radiance, because Warding Radiance is very good for catching runners, but yeah, besides that, Jet Striker is like almost impossible to catch and very good in combat. There's like true combos you can do with it in combat, like rapid punches into the M1 is a true combo. And then you can mix up between like your dash and your M1. They can't tell what you're doing. So yeah, decently hard to fight and very hard to deal with in the overworld. I'm pretty sure I can speak for everyone here, where they've been like 1v1ing their friend and then some Jet Striker guy just steals him and runs away after you down him. Or maybe that was either got stolen. But yeah, overall very annoying to deal with S tier. Blind tier recently got some buffs, so I'm going to put it, I would put it B+ if there was a B+ tier, but I'll put it like bottom of A. Good for PvE obviously, and then they made it good for PvP too because they gave some like overall buffs to all the monsters, and you can use it in water now. So yeah, you guys know Nogo's a little water demon, and he's blind seer, so he's been going crazy with the blind seer monsters in the water. They made it pretty solid. And then Link Strider would also be like, Link Strider's, it would be B+ in my opinion, or maybe like A-, just because it's so bad for 1v1s, but it's like so good for everything else. Like it would be C tier for 1v1s, but like A+ for ganks. So let's put it in the middle, like B+, A-. Because there's one of the moves, I never used Link Strider, so I don't know what it's called, but there's one of the moves that gives you like a full bar back instantly, so if your teammate's low, you just put it on them and they heal them up. Contractor, definitely C tier. Better than Link Strider for ones, but Judgment, it like, all the moves are bad. The Oath gives you 3 mantras, but then the Oath only gives you 2 mantra slots, so like that's, I don't know why that exists. It is the only Oath that doesn't give you health, I think, besides maybe like Vision Shaper. So yeah, it doesn't compete with the Oaths there either. All the mantras are pretty mid. Equalizer sucks. Judgment's like pretty trash. Lord Slice is pretty mid too. Judgment's like, you might say it's good for chasing people, but once you hear the sound effect, you can just parry or roll. There are some good people with who use Contractor though, but yeah, overall very mid. I would definitely not use it on any of my builds. Dawnwalker, they recently nerfed it. I said before the nerf it was A+, but now it is, but it's still A+, probably bottom of A+ now, just because it has end lag. They gave Radiant Kick end lag. Although yeah, it would still be A+, because Blinding Dawn is very slept on. It does a lot of damage, and it's good for crowd heal and ganks to keep you alive all the time. And it gives you 10 HP. So not much to be said about Dawnwalker. The passes are good too. Counters, doesn't really counter Shadow, because it's like only 10% resistance, but it is strong against Shadow. Next up, I'm going to put Silent Heart. Silent Heart, I'm going to put in A+. It could pass as S- in my opinion, because of multiple things. The amount of monster damage resistance you get is very crazy, and then you get M1 damage buff too. The moves are not even that bad, like Manikadi. Like, there's a way to use Manikadi where it is like unavoidable damage. You can't do anything about it, so for that reason, it's good. And then it also has like, it's not even that bad for ganks because you normally have a Conga ring, so you can just like slide around. You get damage resistance, damage buff, and like unavoidable damage tech, and you get monster suppression too, which is very annoying to fight against. Next up, we got Vision Shaper. I'll put it A above Blind Seer, or it could pass as like A- in my opinion. The clones are very annoying to fight because you're just always getting 2v1 and you get hit stun. And then there's like, you can go into the realm and get where you can Warriors Respite in the realm. You can use the realm to pop NLKs, and you can also, I think they buffed the counter recently. I'm not too sure what they did with it, but yeah, very good. Definitely better than Blind Seer. Probably not better than Dawnwalker, but like for ones, it is very annoying to fight if they just spam clones because they either do 2 things. They 2v1 you, which is annoying to fight, or they back up and use mantras, which is also annoying to fight. So yeah, very, like, probably the most annoying oath in my opinion, along with Jet Striker. Last but not least, we got Star Kindred. They nerfed Star Kindred like pretty bad, dude. It's like the only good mantra is Celestial Assault. Ascension's not that good. Like even for mobility, it's pretty mid. Sinister Halo sucks too. So I'll put it, honestly, I might put it below Blind Seer because the only thing it's better than Blind Seer at is ones, and Blind Seer is not even that bad for ones. And mobility too. The air dashes are really good. So yeah, I could, I'll put it above Blind Seer just because of mobility, but it is, these two can definitely be swapped. Because all it has really is Celestial Assault, and some people know how to parry that, so yeah, it's going to be it for oaths. These are definitely the top 3 oaths without a doubt, and then Dawnwalker surely behind that, and then all these ones are like, decent. Next up we got Bells. Alright, now that we got tiers, I'm going to start off with Wind Up, reroll. It's definitely the worst spell in the game without a doubt. Wind Up is just so bad, dude. It does, the only thing it's good for is like guard breaking, but even at like max windups, I only take 10%. I only have like 480 health on the build in question. So yeah, it does like no damage, and it's supposed to be about damage, so I don't really get why that exists. Next I'll do counter. Oh, these ones are, yeah, counter, there you go. Counter A-. They nerfed the beam. The beam used to like one-shot people. I don't know how that got into the game where it would do so much damage. But the best variant in my opinion is the instant variant, just because it's like a free counter. And it's only like a 15-second cooldown, so yeah, the instant variant could pass as like A or A+, but the other variants do weigh down its rating. So A- for now. Sharbo I'll also put at A-, probably above counter, just because you can do more with it. You can like scale walls. You know, I'll put it below counter because counter is better. It's just solid. Sharbo, if you're fighting a good player, it's hard to land Sharbo. Although if you're fighting someone that's bad, you can land it a lot and kill them quickly. Pretty sure Sharbo does percent damage, so no matter who you're fighting, it'll always do like 13-14%. Crazy slots I'll also slap into A-, probably in between the two, or I'll put it like here. It could pass as B+, honestly, simply because you get weapons a lot that don't match your investment. Like I had a heavy crazy slots build, and I would always roll guns or dagger, and yeah, that's like the only reason why it's bad in my opinion. The weapons are pretty good. Divine Greatsword, I think they might have nerfed it, but it's still pretty good. Both the heavies are good. The sword is broken. The dagger is good, has no end lag. The guns are good. The spear, dude, the spear special attack is crazy. The thing about crazy slots is the special attack does full damage no matter your investment. So like, if you're heavy and you get the spear special attack will still do like a bar and a half. So yeah, it's good for that reason. Gravity Dome, I'm gonna put it in S tier just because y'all know I'm in Lancelot, and Lancelot be beefing with Chapter a lot. And Chapter, they all have either Gravity Field or Reaper, and what they do is they trap you in Gravity Field and just gank the shit out of you with like Ice Fisher and Shadow Gun and Shadow Seekers and all of that. And they look like Shadow Mage builds. And Gravity Field is near impossible to escape unless you're teaming as Spark Swap, or you have like a Vow, and sometimes the Vow doesn't even work. Or if you have like Flame Assault, or I think Petra Crit works too. But yeah, it's so hard to escape from. So your only choice is to beat up the person who's in it. But then even then, they normally have mantras like Ice Fisher or Shadow Vortex to buff them when they're in the field. So yeah, you have to like be really good to deal with Gravity Field very annoying. Run it back, I'll put in A above all of these just because it's like free 10 seconds of iframes. If you're in a gank and you pop run it back and the person you're fighting chooses to just not attack you, then you can just, run to some other fight and blow this off with them. So it could be seen as free heals in a way. It's good at stalling. And you can like, if you're trying to run away, you can like go into a bush, pop it, and then it'll teleport you back. So yeah, pretty good for running too, if you know the tech with it. Reaper is going to be the other S tier, just because it's so solid. I don't really need to explain what it does or why it's good. It's just really good. You can like Reaper NPCs too if you're getting fucked up in the ones or you're just getting ganked. But yeah, Reaper is just really good. You don't have to like run away if you're holding someone from his friends. You can just flip him right there. Resurrection, I'll probably put in B. The only Resurrection user I know is No-Go, but it is pretty good if you have Vow of Mastery. And it heals them to like 40%. So it also stacks with Plight Awakening. So you can get like 50% back off of res sometimes. You got Sacred Field. Sacred Field I'll probably put in C. Don't get me wrong, it is like S- tier or S tier for PvE. But for PvP, when someone pops Sacred Field, no one fights them in it. And then like, here's how the sequence of events would go. If you're in a 1v1 with Sacred Field, or just like any fight with Sacred Field, you would pop it, they would run out of it, you put down a campfire, and then they spam mantras at you while you're in the Sacred Field. So yeah, it's kind of like mid overall. I don't think anyone uses it for PvP at all. We got Jar of Souls. I'll probably put it like, it could pass as B-, so I'll put it like top C. So if you have it on if you have like all the souls maxed out, it will do good damage, but then obviously, you have to like recharge all the souls, and that'll take a long time just for one attack. It's not worth it. Might even be worse than Sacred Field in a way, since you have to charge all it up, but using Jar of Souls without souls in it is still like pretty decent too. I think it'll do like 10%. Next up we got Yoru. I'll put Yoru bottom of A- just because you can like run away with it. And obviously the double Yoru tech with Tarnish Yoru, you can use it twice. There is a bug with Yoru though, where sometimes you can be visible in your Yoru, and then that would kind of eliminate the whole purpose. But yeah, it's still pretty good. Next up we got Oaths. I'm gonna speedrun through this real quick and then come back to you. Alright, we're back. So do keep in mind that some of these races I don't know a lot about their passives, or I just don't know what they do entirely. But when Verse 2 came out, they did buff the passives of some races, so yeah, I'm gonna have to do some more research on that, but I know them for the most part. So starting with S tier, we got Vesperian, Felinor, and Lightborn. I don't think I really have to explain myself here. Lightborn, you get +5 on every you get +5 free points on your build basically, because you start off with like 10 investment points. And then Vesperian, obviously more tanky. Felinor, you can run more and climb walls higher. Felinor is very nice. Ganymede, the passive they added with layer 2 is that it takes only like 2 or 3 knowledge to use shrines, so that's very good when you're min-maxing. Tehran, you get the glider for free and like extra drip points because Tehran's probably the coolest. And like Etrian's pretty good because of I think it like halves all status effects. So if you're fighting a Sinja user, like a flame user, the Etrian passive will help you out. And then Khan, the passive pretty good too. I made a few builds where the requirement to use a spear was 90, and I had 87, so I had to use con. Con's pretty good in that sense, and then like all these ones from here are like pretty mid. I don't know. I heard someone say Grimoire was good. I forgot why, but if I knew why, it would probably be like up here. But I don't know what it does, so I'll put it here for now. So correct me in the comments if you know what Grimoire does. Oh wait, Grimoire. I think I know why. You lose your hunger and thirst less in water. So I'll just put it up for B for now. And then like Canor, less damage versus teammates. I guess that can help you in like ganks or whatnot. And then the Dread Autodidact, good for progressing. These two are pretty useless. The Capper passive doesn't really do much. And then Sultar, same thing. And like these are just all the spec races down here. I don't really know much about. Alright y'all, that is going to be it for the video though. I couldn't find a tier list for weapon classes, so I'll run that through you guys real quick. S tier, I would put like Fist and Dagger. A plus tier, I would put Rapier and like Spear. A tier, I would put Sword. B tier, I would put All Heavy and like Dual Guns. And then I would put like Rifles like Rose and Peacemaker, A minus tier. But yeah, that's going to be for the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a sub, because I'm growing really fast. So yeah, thank you guys for that. I will definitely be uploading more soon. So drop a sub, no reason not to. But besides that, man, God bless you all. Have a great day.